Hey everybody, the Modern Native here. Part 2 of Camp Hygiene is going to be kitchen cleaning. Pots and utensils and crap. So, you can see it's got a bunch of schmutz in there lined around the rim from cooking a muffin this morning. So, which I've done a video on that previously. It's the same method, 2 pots together. But, I just wanted to show you guys how I clean it. My first step is what I do is I just fill it with a little bit of water, and I get this right out here. There's some gritty sand. You can see it's the lighter color, not like the dirt silt that kind of settles in a creek. It's the beach sand, kind of ground up rock kind of deal. So I like to get a little scoop of that in there with the water. And then I rub it around the edge, and it acts like a grit to get some of this built up stuff off the edge. I don't clean the outside because to me it's like a seasoning almost. It's like a protective coating of soot and char built up on the outside of the pan. Feels almost like it distributes the heat a little better. Less warping on the pan if I don't clean it off. And it doesn't matter, the food don't touch that side and it sits on the ground most of the time anyway, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. But you just use the grit in your hand to scrub everything off. The hardest part is always right around the rivets of the handle, so you always want to make sure you get that little extra. I notice even in people's houses, that's usually the spot that's dirty on pans, which can be just a little gross sometimes. And I try to make sure I dump it right here on the sand, and I am upstream from that kind of dam right there. So what that'll do is that'll catch anything that happens to flow down. So like if you have food material and stuff, it'll catch right into that, and it won't flow downstream if you've got anything downstream from you. So planning ahead when you're cleaning dishes or even doing laundry or whatever and you're using a creek, anything that is going to flow down, try to make sure that you're in front of one of those dams to act as a pre-filter kind of thing. Because I can literally go right behind that to where the stream flows around, goes around it, and it's all fresh, clean, filtered water. Like, I still got to filter it in my bottle, I still got to boil it on the fire, but it doesn't have debris floating in it because that area has filtered it out, so it's just smoother water flowing through, so it's not stirring everything up. Give it a rinse and then check for a couple extra spots. Again, those rivets are always the worst spot. Well, bam, pretty much good as new. So what I'll do is I'll fill this, and my extra pot that I had when I made the muffin, I had it sitting inside of it with a couple of spacers in there with the 2 lids, so it acted like a little oven. So I'll fill these up with water, a little bit down. Yeah, a little bit down so I can actually scoop. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about the cleaner spot of water. Then I just fill these up with water, throw them on the fire, and let them boil up, and then just swoosh them around, dump them out, and they're sanitized for the next use. And I'll show you guys this next spot. So now we're on the other side. I don't know if it's coming across all that well, but nothing is really stirred up here because it flows around this sandbar and flows through all the logs, and that sand buildup behind me here flows through. We're on the other side of that same spot. So it filters all that stuff coming downstream, so you won't have a bunch of grit and stuff in here when you're boiling it. Not that it matters if all you're doing is just sanitizing it, but this is also a good spot for me to get drinking water to be filtered or sanitized. But yeah, almost no floaters, no spin up. It's awesome. And then the final step is, of course, getting it set on the fire. Now, leaving it like this, it will probably collapse off, but I'm watching it for now. Ugh. And it's not for cooking, so I'm not really worried if it does fall off, as long as it boils first. Ran out of space, had to clear it up. Anyway, that was kitchen cleanup, dishes, and some creek tips for you guys with the flow and where to do your cleanup and your water collection and stuff like that. Some tips that I use. Next bit is going to be laundry, and then bathroom time, doing the duty in the woods. So check that out. Check out my previous one for the shower hygiene. But this was part 2. Until next time, get out there, be a native, and go beast.